Welcome to Franchise Marketing Radio, brought to you by SeoSamba. Comprehensive high-performing marketing solutions for mature and emerging franchise brands. To supercharge your franchise marketing, go to SeoSamba.com. That's SeoSamba.com.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of Franchise Marketing Radio, and this is going to be a good one. Today we have with us Jeff Kennedy with Moes Original Barbecue. Welcome, Jeff.
Hey, thanks for having me, Lee. Look forward to talk about barbecue and business.
All right, sounds good. Well, tell us a little bit about Moes Original Barbecue. How'd you get started?
So Moes was originally started by, I have two partners. One of them, which I worked for at college at the University of Alabama, started in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And he started with Moses Day, the namesake for the brand. And then when I got into school, I worked for him in college, and then we moved out to Vail, Colorado, and kind of restarted the brand out here with a roadside trailer back in 2001. Converted a hay trailer into a little kitchen on the side of the road and sold out 100 days in a row our first summer, and decided to start doing brick and mortars and expanding pretty quick there. We did a few, and now we're up to 55 restaurants, and yeah, just having a good time kind of spreading our Southern heritage and values.
So now, when you got started, was it did you build it in terms of, hey, we're going to franchise this, or was it something that, because of the demand, it was like, hey, I think this is a big opportunity. We can really replicate this and take some of these systems we've learned and really blow this out?
Yeah, no, we weren't going into it to franchise whatsoever. We just love hospitality and restaurant role within America, and so we, from the trailer, we opened a couple of our own brick and mortars, and then with employees at the time, we started branching out to areas we liked. Ultimately, we went straight to the beach. We thought that the coolest thing ever would be to have a restaurant in Vail, Colorado, and a restaurant in Orange Beach, Alabama. So from there, we started growing. We were about 7 or 8 kind of handshake deals into restaurant expansion before we started franchising. We realized we just couldn't keep a grip on all that we had going, and decided to go with the franchise model. We kind of referred to it as the franchise because it was really growing, especially in the beginning, just with friends and family and current employees. So maybe a nudge looser situation than your typical franchise.
Now, that's a great term, franchise. You should do something with that. That sounds like a good book opportunity for you guys, franchising. Now, when you were doing that, obviously the pro of that is it's probably easier to talk to your friends and then you can show them the ropes. And then I guess some of the negative is they're your friends, so sometimes maybe they're going to put their own spin on things, and it's harder to protect the brand at that point. Exactly.
You said it better than I probably could. I think money and friends always gets a little sticky. But that's exactly what happened in making it a little easier from the front end with friends and family, which we still love having involved. And we love that idea, but it makes it the financial and difficult decisions a little more difficult to discuss just because you're good friends.
So now, when you decided, okay, we're going to make this a formal franchise and there's going to be rules now, did that kind of affect some of those friendships, or were you able to kind of weather those storms?
No, we weathered it. We still are. We still try to run it a little to our franchise attorney's dismay. We still run it as a little bit of a loose version of a franchise. So we've decided it's okay to take the good and the bad of it, to have our our friends involved. So it's a big part of the Moes original brand. I think is just the family aura of the concept.
And then when you did decide to franchise, and then you had to kind of formalize the systems, and then the business really, this is a different business than making barbecue. It's now you're a training and sales development, and it's kind of a different kind of machine that you're building when you're franchising as opposed to just running restaurants, right?
Right. Yes, sir. So I think as we got into, when we were doing a dozen into 20, 30, 40, it was okay to be a little bit looser on the edges. And then as we've gotten in towards the 50 and 60 number now, it is definitely turning into a very different business model for us as a team to run. We can run a handful of restaurants well, but now taking that and applying the systems and strategy to 55 restaurants and hopefully growing from here. So a very different business model for us, and we've actually, the COVID probably did a lot of good for us as a business to really get back and understand what the fundamentals of barbecue production were that made us successful, and now taking that back to the system as a whole, and really just getting back to the core values, systems, processes that have made us successful thus far.
Now, were there any kind of silver linings from this going through this pandemic? Like, did this affect maybe the size of a restaurant, the footprint, or the way that you're doing curbside or delivery, or open up different kind of options for the franchisee?
It certainly did. We've added a handful of drive-throughs now to different locations. I think the drive-through will forever be an important part of restaurants again, as it has been in the past. But I think this reiterated that. And I think a lot of, aside from the ups and downs of the roller coaster environment period through COVID, I really think in the end that most of what we got out of COVID was a silver lining, to be honest. It's made us a better brand. It's made us better all the way down to a restaurant level. And it has certainly made us better as the franchisor. The efforts of our team at the top have just been enormous, and we've learned so much, and feel that we're such a better concept hopefully coming out of COVID.
So now that you've moved into kind of more formal franchise agreements with people that weren't necessarily your friends going in, I'm sure they're your friends now, but has that changed what that ideal franchisee candidate looked like, or did they look like your original friends?
That's a good question. I think the restaurant business is just difficult, and I think a lot of people from the outside looking in see the fun entertainment side of the restaurant industry, but to see the endless effort and long hours you put in to make that work. So that's a really good question. It's something that we've been diving into a lot this year, is what does your perfect partner look like in the emerging market? And I don't know that I exactly have an answer for that, other than they got to be willing. They got to have the passion and be willing to work extremely hard.
Now, are you looking for kind of a single store operator, or are you looking for people who already have a portfolio of restaurants and then they're just adding this to their mix? Do you have a feel for that? Like, you want more empire builders, or you want more people that are transitioning into this world for the first time?
I think we want a little more restaurant experience. I think the multi-unit operators, I think definitely start to get an advantage, even on a smaller level of scale and business understanding. So I think While we're open to anyone who has the passion and love for the industry and barbecue in particular, I think those that are more understanding of the industry are a better fit as we move forward. We are partners with a handful of mellow mushroom operators. I think our brands are similar, and it's neat to see their understanding of the industry, as opposed to just bringing someone not off the streets, but from another industry into the restaurant scene and trying to start a new career. So a little bit of both of those perspectives, but I think that some restaurant understanding is very beneficial.
Now, how are you as your team grows, kind of staying creative and innovative? Where are you getting your ideas from? Is it, do you have enough kind of franchisee where the franchisees are bubbling up great ideas, or are you guys still going out and about and just kind of exploring best practices and figuring out ways to put it into your system?
I think really deriving stuff from our current partners. We have such a fun, dynamic group of people involved, and we really look at the franchise as a two-way street. We want to learn from them just as they want to learn from us, and so I think collaboratively we are able to be that much stronger with so many people involved with decision making, instead of every decision just coming from the top. It's more of a joint effort amongst everyone.
And then when you're in these different markets, how do the local markets kind of customize the experience for their kind of locality? Is there enough play when it comes to flavors, or is it pretty strict in terms of, the menu?
Right. So the way I describe it to them, we really want it from A to Z. I want it to be Moes original barbecue, and the processes and identity that makes it successful. And then from Z to eternity, I want it to be our local partner, their community, their passions in life, whether it be college football, blues, rock and roll music. So kind of take the A to Z as the core, and then let them expand on it according to their local interests and their individual interests.
And that way it kind of captures the feeling from the community?
Yes, exactly. A very, very community-oriented concept, 100%.
So now
barbecue, we really feel that barbecue is community. It is what community is all about. It satisfies all walks of life, and if it's done correctly, it should really bring everyone in together to a comfortable, hospitable situation.
So now, looking back at your life in barbecue from the first time, I guess you just sat around and watched the pig roast. Is this the way that you thought the story would end for you? Is doing something like this?
It's probably much better than the story that I imagined sitting around the first pig roast. It has really become a special thing, obviously, to my partners and I and everyone involved. But I think that we're really able to interact with and engage many really neat communities around the country at this point, and that's far more than I ever imagined on that first night of pig roasting.
And it's one of those things where barbecue is kind of universal, isn't it?
It is. It really is. It's just, we really combine our two favorite genres of food from the Southeast, being barbecue and soul food. And so the combination of those and how it's served and the experience that we are after is really about bringing anyone and everyone together for fabulous food and to experience relationships in a different setting.
And so what's next for you as you expand? Are you looking for different parts of the country here? Or are you expanding globally?
We have one in Mexico City. That's our only one outside of the United States. We are looking at looking at more around the mountain states out to California. And then I think as the COVID releases its grips, I think that the central East Coast up to the north is probably going to become a pretty hot spot for us, is what we're seeing with some interest right now. So we want to go wherever our potential partner wants to be. We love mountains, skiing, surfing, beach towns, college towns, and everything in between. So we really just want to go where we and our partners want to be.
Well, congratulations on all the success. If somebody wants to learn more about the opportunity, what's the website?
Moes, Moes, original BBQ.com.
And then they can find out more about the franchise opportunity, and they can find if there's a location near them if they're hungry, right?
Absolutely. So check out the website. You're welcome to call me if anybody ever wants to talk about what we've done. It's super fun, and I just always love to talk barbecue and business. So I'm Jeff at MoesOriginalBBQ.com.
Good stuff. Well, Jeff, again, thank you for sharing your story. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You got it. All right, this is Lee Cantor. We will see you all next time on Franchise Marketing Radio.